Hi, my name is Mary Kay Jackson, and I'm a missionary serving Christ here in Ghana, West Africa. It's been a pleasure to travel this week with Pastor Michael, Pastor Greg, and Lagi as we've discovered what God has in store for Living Word in North Ghana. Many people ask me my story, and I would love to tell you about it. 6 or 7 years ago, I was working as a civil engineer in Atlanta, Georgia. Had no idea that I would come to Africa on the mission field. But let me read you a story and tell you how God touched my life. From Matthew 25, Jesus tells a very familiar story to us, the parable of the sheep and the goats. He says, "When the Son of Man comes in his glory and all the angels with him, he will sit on his glorious throne. All the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate the people one from another, as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. He will put the sheep on his right and the goats on his left. Then the king will say to those on his right, 'Come, you who are blessed by my Father, take your inheritance, the kingdom prepared for you since the creation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. I needed clothes, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you looked after me. I was in prison, and you came to visit me.' Then the righteous will answer him, 'Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink? When did we see you a stranger and invite you in, or needing clothes and clothe you? When did we see you sick or in prison and go to visit you?' And the king will reply, 'Truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me.' As I said, 6 or 7 years ago, I was working in Atlanta as a civil engineer. I was designing municipal water and wastewater systems, and I loved what I did. I always felt like I was doing what God commanded. I was providing water for people who were thirsty in the southeastern United States. But one day, as I read this story, God brought me up short. He reminded me of the people I had seen on my travels in Ghana, and he said, 'Mary Kay, you're not doing what I'm asking you to. Read the rest of the story.' Of course, the end of the sentence says, 'Whenever you do it for the least of these, you do it for me.' And what God showed me that day was, while the work I was doing in Atlanta was important, it was not for the least of these. There wasn't anybody in Metro Atlanta that was dying of waterborne disease that day. Yet God's children are dying here in Africa, in Asia, in South America. 884 million people in the world don't have access to safe, drinkable water. 2.6 billion people in the world, almost a third of the world's population, do not have access to adequate sanitation. They don't have a simple bathroom. 3.4 million people in the world die every year from preventable waterborne disease. Totally unnecessary deaths, and most of these are children. Here in sub-Saharan Africa, 6,000 children die every day from preventable waterborne disease. These are deaths that could easily be solved by providing a well for a community that gives them safe water to drink, or providing latrines in a community so that they have a safe place that separates the human waste from human contact. You see the stream behind me. In this stream, people are washing clothes and they're bathing, but they're also fetching water to drink, and this water can make them sick. Women and girls in sub-Saharan Africa walk an average of 6 kilometers a day to fetch their water for their families. This bucket of water, when it's full, would weigh over 45 pounds, a very heavy load to try and carry on your head as you go back to your village. Many of the children you see gathered around will not grow to their full maturity because of the diseases that they'll contract from drinking this water. I work together with UMCOR to provide safe drinking water in northern Ghana, and I invite you, Living Word, to partner with us to bring safe drinking water to the people of Ghana. Thank you.
Thank you.